Good morning.
Oh, yeah.
Early morning news. We should be meteorologists.
Oh, yeah, that'll be. A lot of people will tune in for
Today's weather.
In Martinsburg, West Virginia, we might see a tornado. I'm Sean.
I'm Josh.
And this is the Unalike Podcast. And we're going to talk about ways that were the same but different. Two unlikely friends, you might say. How would you describe the show?
Yeah, a lot of perceptions the same, and I think we're going to find out we're going to have some different perceptions on things.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, that's very likely. So
we met through our wives.
That's true.
And I don't even know how many years ago. And then we just kept meeting wedding after wedding.
Weddings.
After
wedding. My wedding. You were there. And then I moved here. Moved to West Virginia in 2021, I think. And happily ever after, right, Josh?
Exactly.
Let's see. We're both family men. We both have children. I got 2 kids.
I have 1 kid, 1 daughter.
Right. Okay. Similarities end right there, right? That's it.
Right. One thing is a big similarity, both being married, both having kids, both kind of living the same type of husband-father lives.
Yeah, I would imagine there's some similarities there, for sure. Although, I mean, I'm just going to say this right off the bat. You have a very different home life, my friend. How many chores do you do at home?
I mean, specifically when it comes to chores, we do have goats.
Okay.
I water the goats.
Water the goats, is that how you say it?
I water the goats. Mow the lawn.
Yeah.
And, take a bullet for the family.
Okay, yeah, of course.
If an invader comes in.
Yes, that's a forever chore. Yeah. Yeah.
So when it comes to, the dishes.
You know how the wash machine works?
I do not. When I do the dishes, to surprise my wife, I hand wash them. That's how I've always done it. I enjoy hand washing. And the problem is when she comes home and I surprise her with washing the dishes, she doesn't find it much of a surprise.
Because she's got to redo them all, right?
She's like, wow, you did something I did every single day.
Yes. You're like, look at me.
But does it count that dishwashing if you just put them in the dishwasher?
I think so. It's a good 10 minutes of work.
That's true.
These chairs, bro. Gotta get some rolly mats over here. Let me see how far I can lean back. Can I chill this far? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that's a little different on my end. We're kind of split down the middle when it comes to house chores. A new age household, if you will. So I'm doing the dishes or washing clothes. Take care of the pool.
I would say that's how most houses are run.
Yeah, you got something special going on, man. Don't let your wife watch this and realize that that's not normal.
It's the goats. Once I got the goats, they take up all my chores.
Right, yeah. There's no possible time for anything else.
Exactly. That's 10 minutes out of the day. Water in the hay.
Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. And I think, but I think in terms of like raising our kids, we're probably similar in that regard. Like, I don't know, my family growing up, my dad wasn't super active in like the upbringing of us kids. He was around, he wasn't like absent, but wasn't like every day hanging out with us, taking us places. Where I think both of us enjoy doing that. We like to go out and take our family places, experiences, do stuff.
Right, and I mean, growing up, it was a little different for me. My dad worked a lot every day, but we were always doing something, whether it was going to NASCAR races. One time we were into WWE wrestling. We were going to wrestling, however you say it, West Virginia wrestling.
You know, wrestle.
But yeah, like we kind of.
Who's your favorite wrestler, by the way?
Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, okay. I'm more of a Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like an alcoholic figure as a child who's just really. It just hit home, you know.
In his word usage, I mean, that was perfect for an idol to look up to.
Yeah, you know, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I was watching Sopranos when I was like 7 and swearing pretty early on. Swear words were adjectives in my house. So.
Yeah, mine started about middle school. It went from like 0 to 100 with the swearing real fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you ever have limitations at home about video games or anything like that you could play or?
Not really. I mean, it was pretty.
Or like shows you could watch or whatever.
Yeah, show wise. I mean, everything started about middle school though. Once I got introduced to hip hop. And watching those videos, sneaking to watch those videos, I started to learn a lot more that was out there that I didn't know.
The darn hip hop, terrible influence. Those parental advisory stickers really got you.
Yeah, there was no parental advisory on the videos with some of the things I seen at an early age.
Yeah, my parents didn't really mind. I guess they didn't filter what I was watching or the music I was listening to or anything, or video games I was playing. Maybe they should have. I was playing Grand Theft Auto, probably way too young. But
I did play some Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's stuff I would never do with my kids. Like, you know, my son is 7, and there is no chance I'd let him play Grand Theft Auto right now.
Right. I think movie-wise, I'm a little more lenient with my daughter. Yeah. Watching just recently, or a couple days ago, we watched
Scarface?
No, we haven't got there. The Scarface poster is still at my parents' house above my bed that I had.
Right next to Pamela Anderson? Or?
Yes, on the bathroom door there was a Sports Illustrated poster.
Classic.
But we just watched Endgame, Avengers Endgame.
Okay, well, you know, I feel like the superhero stuff is a little bit softer. It's a good intro into violence.
It is. The next morning she woke up, I'm like, okay, are we ready to start from the beginning and watch Captain America? No. I need a couple days break. There was a lot of dust in what we just watched. So I wasn't expecting that the first thing in the morning. But,
yeah. That's funny.
So speaking of that, when it comes to being a father, what is your favorite thing? Like, what is one of your top favorite things about being a dad?
Top favorite things about being a dad? You know, it's different, I think, with different ages. Like, I forgot about this because my son is 7 now, but, you know, when he was littler, just him hitting these milestones so rapidly. And so now I have a daughter who's younger. My daughter's a year and a half, and, you know, seeing her hit these milestones and be able to say stuff like, I love you, Dada, like, that's awesome, you know. But with my son being a little bit older, his milestones are still just as exciting, and they're different, but they're just, you know, less frequent, right? They go through slower transitions as they get older, but I guess it's just rewarding watching my family grow and be together and, you know, make memories and stuff like that. Like, in general, just the fact of being a dad, I think, is great. But
right, and I agree with all aspects of that. One thing I battle is between sometimes, like, you go to bed at night and you hear Dad, Mom, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta wake up. But then the next day I'm like, it's still nice to be needed.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Like, that's the part. Like, oh my gosh, when she wakes up in the middle of the night, or she's scared, or
Right.
She can't fall asleep. Like, you're still there and needed to comfort.
The protector figure, right? Or even just like, being, being their source of comfort and reassurance and stuff like that. Yeah, I get you. That's cool. And that's not going to last long, right? Like, I mean, shoot, I think both of our older kids are going to probably stop needing us so much,
Right.
I mean, now it's only going to be less and less. And it'll be more and more about money probably as they get older. It's like one of my dad's favorite books to read to me. I think I didn't bring a copy, but was The Giving Tree. You ever read The Giving Tree?
I have heard of The Giving Tree.
Kid's book, but I think it's really for the parents that are reading it, and it's about the son or child that spends time with the tree, which is like the parent figure, and wants from it, like eventually wants the wood for, I think, making a house. And there's less and less of the tree left as the book progresses, and then there's nothing but a stump at the end. So one day, Josh, you and I are both going to be stumps.
And that's the thing too. Like, I feel like you're always going to be needed. Like, I mean, there's times.
The old boy at the end of that book sits on the stump for a nice place to rest.
Right, and it's just a different kind of need when they're younger.
Yeah,
that's
no doubt.
the thing. Like, whole different kind of need.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, when you get to your most favorite thing, what would be something? So, for instance, something I find annoying, but also like it's still enjoyable.
An enjoyable annoyance?
Yeah.
All right, hit me.
So, my thing is with having a daughter.
Yeah.
She has all the unicorns. She has all the Barbies. She has all the
baby
dolls.
Of course.
So when she asks me to play, I always have to be a girl.
Yeah, you're princess dad.
So, yeah, princess dad. So there could be multiple prince, kings, whatever they are, as she calls them. And we also have plenty of Ken dolls, but for some reason I still always have to be the girl. So 45 minutes of playing, it's always, Dad, you got to use your girl voice. It's not a boy, it's a girl. So
she enforces it. Huh?
So I'm like, there's a Ken right here. There's Prince
She's like, no, I switch characters. She's like,
So, I mean, most of the time when we play, I'm a girl.
Yes.
But I also find it funny as when I do finally get to be a male character, a Ken, a boy unicorn, I still change my voice. Like, I don't use my own voice.
Do you ever go to work and use it, or?
There's probably times where it comes out, but yeah, like I just can't use my normal voice for Ken. It's, hey, I'm Ken.
Yeah. My son doesn't play much pretend. I think he's just into different stuff. But already I could see my daughters going down that rabbit hole. We just got an American Doll the other day.
Oh yeah, they're economy-wise, they're very good prices.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was like, dude, we are not buying a $125 doll, and sure enough, we did. That is exactly what happened. I think we're probably gonna be. I'm gonna be doing girl dad voices in a while. A couple more years. Right now, I can use my normal voice.
That's lucky for you.
Yeah.
While you can. But the thing with American Girl dolls, you always have the appointments you can set up for
haircuts.
Tea parties.
Oh boy.
At least somebody else can use the girl's voice at that time.
Oh my gosh, this stuff is crazy. I'm gonna buy all the knockoff stuff from Target. I've decided.
Okay, nobody knows.
Nobody knows the difference.
No.
If they do, they're not welcome in my house. Speaking of which, I wanted to ask you, when you have people who come visit your house, come visit, not just for like the hanging out for the day, but like someone's going to stay with you. What are some things that they could do that might be like get on your nerves? Like things that are, I don't want to use annoying because it's a strong word. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings who's been to your house. But, someone does something, you're like, oh. Maybe he breaks up your routine, right? Or like messes up your mojo. What do you think?
I think one thing that leads up to that is stopping over unannounced.
Oh, right. No, that's just not acceptable.
No. Sometimes...
Nobody's ever in your neighborhood anyway. What are they doing?
Sometimes I just have my day already planned of laying on the couch and watching something, and you hear a knock at the door. I mean, that's fine. Coming to the house, I don't know. I'm pretty good with, whatever.
Do you ever have guests?
Very
stay the night?
To stay the night? No, never had a guest to stay the night.
Never?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, you're not going to have any annoyances about that then, will you?
No, there's literally a hotel up the road.
You circumvent that completely. Like, oh, yeah, I got you a room at the Hilton, right?
No, I mean, if somebody came over and they had a couple drinks or needed somewhere to stay.
You let them crash on the couch.
Yeah, the couch is fantastic.
As long as you're gone before you wake up, right?
Right. I mean, food-wise, good luck. I mean, usually we buy food just enough to get us through the week. But, I mean, I'm sure there's something in there they could snack on.
Yeah, no drinks, I've learned. You don't buy drinks.
No, not really. Water, tap water.
Were you a juice kid growing up? Did you have juice and sodas and...
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't even remember.
I feel like there was families who were just water families, which is what we've become pretty much. And then there's the kids who got all the sugary juices and the...
I mean, the only thing I can remember is maybe Sunny D.
Oh, you had Sunny D?
Yeah, I love Sunny D.
Did you get the little ones that you could take with you, or did you have the big ones?
The little ones.
Oh, yeah.
We recently got my daughter Sunny D.
Oh, yeah?
And once I had one, I forgot how good they are.
Vitamin C, man.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Yeah, so when people come visit my house, I think there's a few things that someone might do that, can get on my nerves a little bit. Like, for example, someone will try to be helpful when they don't need to be. Like, if you're my guest, I'm going to take care of, your mess and your things and your dishes. I don't care. It's fine. It's on me. But when they try to be helpful and they do it a way that's different than I would do it, like they put away my dishes, but like in the wrong place. And then you're like, where the fuck is the measuring cup? And it's like in a weird place, you know what I mean?
Or if they want to throw the trash away and they got to go through, you see them looking.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, where's your trash can? Well, you wouldn't even have to know where my trash can was. I'll take
I got
care.
it. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good one. Yeah. It makes you feel like they really want you to take out the trash. At least that's how I look at it. When someone's trying to take out my trash, they really want me to take out the trash, because what they're saying is, you've neglected your trash can and it is overfull.
Right.
And now they're trying to take it in their hands. It's totally not necessary.
I mean, it's not a bad idea,
I'll handle the trash.
If they go throw something when your trash is full, hey, can you get that for me? Walk that outside and I'll put a new bag in.
Yeah. Put them to work?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. You know what? I think it's when it's their idea that I have a problem.
Right.
If it was my idea, I think I'd be all right with it. Yeah.
I think that is one of the things that you should almost... It's almost like you got to make things known when somebody comes to your house.
Ground rules?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to stay at your fucking house if you got ground rules. Sign the contract.
Like, listen, when you're here, don't worry about a thing.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not.
Rule number one: there are no rules.
Like, it's easier for me to do everything in my own house.
Yeah.
And you not have to stress over what your job is staying here.
Yeah, that's true.
Or being here.
Yeah. Yeah. So to anyone who comes to my house, don't do anything. Don't do my chores.
Right. And for instance, another thing that's like, say you order a pizza. Like, when I order a pizza, I'm carrying it to the kitchen. I'm already getting a piece out.
Oh, for sure.
And when you're a guest somewhere, it's like, when is the right time to go get my food? Or do I wait till somebody comes?
I'm the first guy at every party in the line for food.
For food?
I don't give a fuck.
See,
because I know on the host side, you want people to eat the food you bought.
Right.
You don't buy the food so that somebody could look at it. We recently had some company, and we bought some things. We had some things out, and nobody ate anything. We were like, "Oh, what did we do wrong? Did we get the wrong food? Did it have allergies we didn't know about?" I don't. As a host, you want people to eat the food that you got. So I'm the first one in line.
That's where the ground rules come in.
Ground rules.
Eat my damn food.
Eat my food, even if you don't like it. I don't care if you're going to get diarrhea.
See, and
eat it.
That's where I'm become the opposite. I'm always like middle or towards the end. of getting in the line.
Oh, okay. Let everybody else. Well, you know what? If the food looks like there's a shortage, I'm not the guy getting second helpings and piling on the plate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you go first, you can beat some of the people the second time that haven't been there yet.
I try not to do that.
They get there and the host will be like, well, we thought we had enough.
Yeah.
But Sean's over in the corner.
Yeah.
On his third plate.
Well, nothing worse than being like super hungry because you misjudged what the party food was going to be like.
Right.
I try never to let that happen again now. Like every time we have people over, I'm like, I got backup food. Just in case, even if it's cheese sticks. Got some backup food.
And that's all the timing in the day. I mean, one thing you're going to notice with, you probably already noticed, and then you're going to have to do it again, birthday parties. Like, the time of day. Like, a birthday party at 2 and 3 o'clock in the day. Really,
it's confusing.
It really throws me off. Like,
are we going to have dinner, or are you going to just serve, popcorn?
And if they do have, like, decent food, how much food do I want to eat at 2 or 3? Because...
Right, am I going to eat again at 7
right
or
around the corner. 6?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But...
Kids' birthday parties, man.
I mean,
fuck up your diet.
It all depends. I mean, I could skip the food, but I'm always going to eat that cake.
Oh, no doubt.
Or cupcakes.
Now, there's no good way to eat a cupcake, I've learned, but there is, I think, something that your wife does with cupcakes.
Oh, yeah. She takes it out, she breaks it in half, she flips the top over, and she makes like a cupcake sandwich.
Cupcake sandwich. I think that's probably the best thing to do.
It is, but I will never do it because it ruins the fact of, like, I like the biting into the icing.
You like the thick
first thing.
Really?
Like, I mean, a cupcake, you're supposed to get messy. Like, I don't give a shit
There's
if
no
I'm
good way
there.
to do it.
I mean, even we have
if cupcakes are as big as they are in Rochester, where I'm from, they make these delicate, like, elaborate cupcakes that have these tons of big toppings. They end up being huge, and it's like this much frosting. You can't open your mouth that big.
All right, well, West Virginia cupcakes are not on steroids.
Yeah,
Ours are
that's
usually
true.
like 2 to 3 bites
that's true.
done. But I will say, it doesn't matter how you do a cupcake when you have a beard like ours. You're always going to get some kind of icing in your beard.
Yeah. I want cupcakes that are half size. I would even just half the cake.
I'm a one bite type person. Like, I like if you show up and there's just a bunch of little cupcakes.
The mini cupcakes?
Yeah, I can walk around and just throw one in my mouth every so often.
Nobody will see you.
Yeah. Then you just have the wrappers everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of which, my son started trying to hide his snacks that he's not supposed to have. He hides the wrappers in places other than the trash can for some reason, as if that'll be harder for us to detect. So he's got like a little, it's actually like a car trash can, but he put it in his playroom and he started filling it with like snack wrappers. So recently found his trash stash.
So like if you ever want to have a snack and nobody to know, just blame it on
Yeah,
him.
I'm gonna
Stick
put it in his trash stash. That's smart. Next level. Blaming your kids for eating things that you're not supposed to eat.
Oh, it's so easy.
Top notch right there.
Yeah, my daughter's new thing is the kitchen is right by the living room, and I can't see in the kitchen, but you hear the cabinets, and you walk out there, and she runs to the other living room and like
she's circling.
I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, no,
I
not
wasn't
me.
doing anything. Well, why are the cabinets? I wasn't doing anything. I'm like, I really don't care if you're having a snack. Like, it's not a huge secret around here that have snacks.
That's why we buy them. Yeah.
But that's one thing with, again, with having kids, that's some of the fun things that you get to go into it. Like, it's funny because some stuff that they think they're going to get in trouble for, at that time, maybe I have to act serious, but in my mind, I'm like, this is hilarious.
It's not a big deal.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
But if you think it's wrong, okay, let's go with it. Maybe we won't do it again.
Yeah, we'll learn a lesson here, right? Yeah.
And, once my wife found out she was pregnant, and not right at the beginning, but when the stomach starts to grow and there's all kinds of hormone things going on, like that baby already becomes like part of your life.
Yeah, for sure.
So you go from being protective of your wife to automatically being protective of two people, and you have that connection. And I don't see how some people automatically just walk away from that connection. Like how it's, I just don't see, like, whether it's an accident or not, or it wasn't planned, like that connection that I have automatically knowing that that's my kid inside her stomach. Like, it's a takeover of, okay, that's yours now. It's not an animal. You just can't give it away. Like,
yeah. I think like there's the science behind some of that is men feel their connection to their kids generally after the kids are born. There's a change in testosterone in men. You actually have less testosterone, and that lower T helps you bond more with your kid. You're not looking for new mates. You're not out there, with that kind of aggression or whatever that you might have, and being home and putting on a few pounds and spending time with your kids causes you to bond with them. But I don't know, maybe some people just don't have it. Some people just keep it going. I don't know. It's tough to say. I will say when my wife first said that she was pregnant, I wish this were different, but my very first reaction was, oh, fuck. Soon after I was like, all right, this is great. This is awesome. I was excited. But, the moment of like, oh, man, what are we going to do?
There's definitely a shock value to it.
Yeah.
When my wife told me that she was pregnant, I came home, I believe, from the gym, and she handed me a seed. I'm like, what the fuck? What is a seed?
That's a weird way to do it, yeah.
Here's a seed.
Yeah.
This is the size right now. The size of what? What's stuck in your tooth? Like, what?
Yeah, what do you got? Yeah.
Oh, I'm pregnant. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
But I would never, like, at that time, even though it was a shock, and I was like, oh, am I ready for this? There was no, like, sense of, oh, my God, I got to get out now. Well,
I think it's because we both loved our wives, you
right.
know? Like, if you don't really love the person you're with, you might have different feelings. Like, oh, man, I'm going to be, But
that's where sometimes I could give it a little bit of play where if you're not with somebody, you find out they're pregnant, there is a shock there. There's like a what should I do? What can I do? I don't know if I'm ready for that. But then you turn around and you say, okay, maybe you give a little leeway there, but after the baby's born, and then you hear of fathers leaving after a baby is a baby, 2-3 years old, like that is nuts to me. Like that's crazy.
Get in the milk and never come back.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how people do that. I guess I'm just a softie when it comes to my kids. I mean, even other people's babies, I'm like, oh, I love this baby.
Right.
It's hard to imagine just walking away from your blood, but.
And I mean, it takes two, like, that have that bond with a kid, and I mean, people do it. I give it up to single moms or single dads that do it, because I mean, it takes me and my wife together to do everything correct.
Right.
So
yeah, no, I don't know how people do it.
Now, one thing that I notice and I see a lot is and I know a couple families that have 4, 5, and 6 kids, and I know they do a great job.
It's insane.
That's what they wanted. Like, I know
Yeah.
people that have up to 7 kids. They do a great job, and that was their intent. Like, we want kids.
They set out to have a big family.
We can provide for them.
Yeah.
We will try to give them everything they need, and we'll raise them all the same and treat them all the same.
Yeah.
And then the other side of the factor is I see people that have 1 or 2 kids, things didn't work out. They're getting with somebody else, not married yet, popping out another 1 or 2. And then the next thing you know, like they're having 4, 5, 6, 7 kids.
Yeah.
With 3 or 4 different dads
or moms.
Yeah, with different dads or moms, or getting in a relationship, taking on other kids. And it blows my mind to be put in that situation. Like I know with our daughter, when we decided we're only having 1 kid, could we have more, be able to afford it and supply for another kid? Yes, but we chose just to have 1. It blows my mind how some people are like, okay, I have 1 kid, I'm struggling.
Let's do it again.
This is tough, but 3 or 4 more down the road, they're having more.
Yeah, I think some people, Josh, just aren't very smart.
I think, when it comes to that, there's no other explanation.
I think they just don't think ahead, or like don't think it's going to happen. Or maybe they're not planning on providing the way that with your level of expectation for providing for your child. Like, even not in that extreme of a way. I see, we take different care of our son than some people do of their kids, and like what I mean by that is, we homeschool. He was struggling at school. He was ahead in some areas. He was being bullied in school, and our solution was, okay, we don't want him to deal with that. We're going to homeschool him. I think a lot of other parents going through that same stuff might have just been like, oh, I can't possibly do that. Like, you got to stay in school. And, right or wrong or indifferent, doesn't matter. But, like, obviously we wouldn't be able to homeschool 7 kids. So, like, that puts a limiter on, like, if that's our level of care, that puts a limiter on how many kids we could possibly care for.
Or just
like,
pick your jobs and just have a whole classroom.
Yeah, like, you can only go so far. My cousin, I don't know how she does it, but she homeschools 3 kids, and a 4th that's a baby and not yet learning. But man, I don't know how you go about that, but. Yeah, then there's people who their level of care is much less, and they, believe that their kids will just figure shit out,
Right. And, that's where I just had this discussion the other day where you can do everything you can for your kid to make them grow up, to act right, to do things right. But once they get into that school setting...
School.
Then you have to reteach why we're teaching you not to do this, but little Johnny's over there at 5 saying, fuck you, leave me alone at lunch.
I was little Johnny in school. I think there's bad examples everywhere for your kids to find out. But I think, like your daughter, she knows right and wrong, and I feel like she's the type of girl who would come home and tell you, like,
oh, she has.
Like, little Johnny said this. I can't believe it.
Yeah, just this year, coming home, like, something I wouldn't expect her to hear this early, she heard. And, was it really bad? No, but it's something, like, I would have or my wife would have to explain to her before she hears it from another kid her age.
Oh, jeez.
But then that's where it comes in play of... Everybody parents their kids different.
Yeah, or not at all.
Or not at all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of grandparents that are parents these days.
That's true.
And they try their best, but you go to Walmart, go to Target, and when you see grandma with a little badass running around, like, what's grandma going to do? My grandma's, like, yelling, and they're running around like crazy.
She ain't chasing them, yeah.
But, that's where it also comes into play where when maybe that instance of having 4 or 5 brothers, or not having that male role model, or single mom or dad's at work, and grandparents are trying to raise them to the best they can in a different generation.
Yeah, that's tough.
That they're not getting what our kids get on a daily basis.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Yeah, I think, there's obviously a lot of reasons why all that stuff can happen, and I think I want to be conscientious of, the economic reasons, or the social reasons, or otherwise why, a parent might not be able to be there for their kids the same way. I think we're lucky, we're blessed in some way, where we're lucky, we're able to do what we're able to do, but yeah, then there's just some dummies out there.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. One thing that always gets to me is seeing if a dirty kid out in a public setting at Walmart or Target or somewhere, like, if you're out in your grocery shopping, like, I'm an Old Navy guy. Like, I get an Old Navy and I'm like, oh my God, this is better deals than Walmart, Target. Like, $5 shirts, $3 kid shirts. Like,
did you get that shirt off the kids' rack?
This one, yes. Yeah, it was on sale in the toddler section.
Real big toddlers, right?
Right, big toddlers.
Bigandtalltoddlers.com.
But that's the thing too, like, if you have so many kids, or you feel like, I don't feel like, unless you are absolutely homeless, like, your kid should never be dirty. And whether that's clothes or the kid itself, like hygiene wise. Like,
there's those real granola parents that, got their kids out there playing in the dirt because the dirt's good for them,
Well, that's
it's
true.
Just a different parenting style.
Yeah, I think every kid should be able to play in the dirt. Every kid.
But once they leave the dirt pile, they got to take a shower.
I think once you leave the dirt, you might want to clean
under those fingernails, right? Yeah. All right, fair enough. Watch out, dirty kids.
But I've known kids that are that are homeless, that live out of cars. So yeah, that's a whole different situation.
Yeah.
Like, that there's a struggle there. Something went wrong.
Yeah.
Could I judge it if I knew every situation? Of course I would. Yeah. Like, is it because you don't want to work? Is it because you made screwed up decisions in your life? But a kid should never have to suffer. Like, if I went broke tomorrow and I had enough money for food and anything, like, everything's going to come first for my kid. Yeah. Like, I would be the one that's dirty. I would be the one with the old raggedy clothes. But, like, it falls on me as the parent to make sure my kid's clean.
No, that's true. Yeah, I think it's our responsibility to take care of the kids first, but I don't think everybody sees it that way. I see a lot of, you see people with, they got fresh clothes and fresh shoes, and their kids got some, beat up sneakers and stuff.
Right. And that's the ones I'm talking about, is when I see a parent that has everything on the nice cell phone.
Everything brand new.
Looking good.
Feeling brand new.
Hair done. Like, styling, and the kid's like, whatever money I have left is going to you.
Yeah. Yeah, right. We're both, I think, the inverse of that. Like, we just went shopping the other day, and I didn't get anything because I was like, I really don't need anything. I didn't have any needs, but made sure my son and my daughter and my wife all got new shit.
Right.
Yeah, I'm always thinking about that first rather than what I'm wearing. But yeah, man.
And that's a struggle too. Some people just don't know how to cope with.
Not being the most important thing in their own lives?
Yes.
I think that's true. I think that's a maturity thing.
I think when it comes to having a kid, some people can't get away from the selfish ways of their own. Like,
yeah. I mean, everybody's favorite word to hear is their own name, and like we're all, I think, inherently some degree of selfish. But yeah, when you have kids, you have to.
you can still be selfish. You just have to back up on it.
Yeah.
Like I don't think some people.
I always say that I'm selfish in a way where I will do something that I know I need in order to be better for, everyone else. Like I would take care of myself first. My dad wrote me a letter when I was young, and I didn't really get it till later, but it was basically do something nice for yourself every day because basically no one else really does. No one else will.
That's a good point.
So, treat yourself, and then you'll be able to do what you need to do for other people. I'm not always first on my list. Like I will say, like probably most days, I'm like waking up and, immediately jumping into, a parenting role where I got to do something for my daughter or my son and, whatever I got to do. But yeah, I try to do something good for me every day.
Yeah, and that gets away from you sometimes. Also, like it's like anything else. Like,
yeah,
you have to do things for yourself, but sometimes I feel myself that I have to make sure my daughter's happy before I'm happy.
Oh yeah, you got this dad guilt about going out and doing something for you. Yeah, that can be tough. It was harder when they were younger and they would cry when you walk out the door.
Right.
Now, my son's like on YouTube watching people play Minecraft or something. Doesn't even know I left.
Oh yeah, my daughter loves the once if I put on toys, just watching kids play with toys.
Man, this generation is so weird.
Yeah,
even watching people play games. Like, I mean, I have friends who go on Twitch and watch people play games and stuff. But I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, if I went to your house and we were going to play video games and it was single player, I could give a fuck less about how you were doing.
Exactly.
I was just waiting for my turn.
Yep.
I was hoping you were going to fall off the ledge so that I could play. I didn't want to watch anybody else play video games. Now, I think the next generation, like all into Twitch, watching other people play games, huge thing. And now it's watching other people play with toys. This pretty soon it's going to get real meta. It'll be watching people play games. We're going to get further and further away. There's going to be one person who plays video games from out, and then everybody watches.
Everybody just watches.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be an HBO special.
Yeah. Weird.
But yeah, I mean, it's a great selling point though, because these kids get on there and stuff you've never seen before. And they're watching kids unbox it. They're watching kids get it out. They're playing into the excitement of having that and what it does. It's not like you used to go to Toys R Us. You walk around and you see something you've never seen before. Now you're seeing everything on YouTube, and that's the way. I mean, those companies have to be loving it.
You're not going to stores.
I mean, it used to be the tall giraffe that called you in to get a toy.
Right.
Now it's little Jill and Jan are playing with it saying, buy it. Tell your dad, buy it.
Yeah. Here's the affiliate link. Yeah. Yeah, man, I think you're right. There's, there is some cool opportunities that stuff brings, like somebody could buy a toy that you could never afford, and you can watch them, like, experience the opening or whatever, the unboxing. I guess there is some cool factor in that. Like, I'm not going to buy my son a $1,000 toy, but some asshole kid on YouTube is going to buy that $1,000 toy.
That got it for free.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
make our kids want it.
And he's got all the views to pay for it, right? But, so I guess there's that. But, I think consumerism in this, post-YouTube era is just weird. Different than when we were kids. Like, I don't know. I guess the most expensive thing that I used to ask for when I was a kid was video games or CDs or maybe like Pokémon cards. And that was like, I'd be asking my parents for like $30. Like a video game back then was like $30, $40.
Right.
Pokemon cards, maybe if you got a whole box of them would have been like $30.
Yeah, like the biggest thing was a console.
Sure, and that was like once every 7 fucking years. Like it wasn't every couple of years.
But then there was a place called Blockbuster where you didn't have to buy all your games.
Yeah, right. You could rent out games. Man, where did that go? Is there any place that lets you rent games?
No, but I recently went up into my old room at my parents looking for something, and I came across a VHS tape that had Blockbuster on it. So
shit.
I mean,
If you're watching this Blockbuster,
if they ever open again,
yeah.
I don't want to see what that account's going to be.
That late fee. I saw Pete Davidson's collecting unopened VHS tapes.
Oh, I saw that too.
Yeah. I guess they're worth like 20, 30 grand on some occasions.
Yeah.
You got any unopened ones there, Josh?
No. I mean,
It's fun to podcast.
the one thing that
Maybe we'll get mats for our chairs finally.
I never thought about buying to not do. Here, buy a movie and not watch it.
Well, you know,
never crossed my mind.
You're a collector.
I am a collector, but
yeah. Should we talk about your collections, or are we saving that for another time?
I think we saved that one.
Save that one.
Yeah, that's an episode.
It's a big
in
topic.
Itself.
Collections.
It is. But yeah, going back to, I wouldn't change anything with being a husband and being a father. I think it is a second job. Like, there's times it is a second job.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, work can be stressful. So can home life and choosing to do the right things and making the right choices.
Yeah, no doubt.
But not in a bad way. Like, I'd rather be stressed about making choices at home than be stressed about making choices at work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think.
I'm the opposite, bro.
You'd rather be, yeah.
Work choices and stress at work feels like nothing to me compared to like home stresses and home decisions.
Right.
Like, yeah, at work I don't feel, very, very rarely do I feel like stressed about something at work.
I wish.
And it's not because my job's not stressful.
Right. You
It's just
have
because
that
it doesn't
mentality.
matter. It doesn't have that impact on me that like home issues can have. Like, I don't worry about, I guess maybe partially is I don't worry about losing my job.
That's true on your end. Right.
If I don't do the work that I have to do, my repercussions are pretty low. I mean, worst case scenario, my client fires me, but, you know, next.
Yeah, and I think that's where work and being a parent at the same time, like, I always see what others think of me. So, like, my work ethic at work, and then how my kid acts out, like, I'm responsible for all of that.
Do you care about how other people see you?
No.
Really?
No.
You kind of just said you did.
My work ethic part.
Okay. You want them to know that
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, like,
not
if you're
lazy.
going to give me a job, I'm going to do it 100%. And that's how I
Right.
feel like a father is. If you have a kid, you should give it 100%.
Okay, fair. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is one of the things we are similar on is that, like, we don't really give a fuck what people think about our own appearance.
Right.
Or, like, how people really think about us in general.
Like, I might care what you think about me at work and my work ethic. And I'm always a nice guy and laid back guy. But once I leave work, if you see me out, like, I don't care what you think about me in that situation.
Yeah.
Like, I am what I am at work, professional.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same person at work. My professionalism maybe lacks a little bit. Again, probably because nobody's gonna fire me for
Right.
saying fuck. But yeah, I just don't give a shit what you think. You know what I mean? Like, public image. Like, I'll go outside sometimes and grab the mail and, you know, be wearing my pajamas or a fucking wife beater or something, and, like, you know, my wife's like, "You gonna go outside now?" I'm like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. My neighbor has a problem with I'm getting the mail in, and that's his problem.
There's nothing on the HOA that says I have to dress up to get my mail.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah.
Well, here's another thing then when it comes to parenting. Like, how do you feel, what route do you take correcting your kid out in public?
Smack him. I'm just kidding. Okay, correcting bad behavior. Yeah, it's tough. So we're both kind of gentle parents,
Right.
in the scheme of things. Like, you know, I think that's something we're both alike in as well. Like, you know, neither of us are going to actually beat our kids or anything like that, or do something.
You
But
speak for yourself.
oh, okay, all right. But I try to redirect and like model good behavior and things like that. But if my son's acting up or something, and it's, we can't fix it, we just generally leave whatever we're doing.
Right.
And we're just getting the fuck out of there. With my daughter, it's like if she's having a bad time and just screaming, she's 1.5. Like, what am I gonna do? Stop it.
Right, exactly.
Nothing I can do there.
Yeah, I think with your son and my daughter at that age, like, just leaving the situation.
Sometimes we have to leave early. It happens less these days. When he was younger. Now the thing is, sometimes if he doesn't get his way when he's out playing with like other kids at the playground or at the park or something goes wrong or he trips and falls. Sometimes he's like real scream crying, like real loud, and then I'm like, oh man, it's disturbing the peace. we gotta pick it up. I gotta get him to stop crying is my thing, and I think partially that's because I don't know about you, but my dad was always like, quit your fucking crying. Mm-hmm. We weren't allowed to cry. I think that was just like 90s kids. We weren't allowed to cry.
Well, that's the thing. I see people in the stores sometimes like just screaming and causing a scene. And that's not doing anything better. I always felt like getting up close in the face, expressing in a different voice works a little better than embarrassing us both, because by you screaming usually puts the kid into panic.
Yeah, no, that's terrible.
It makes him even worse.
It's terrible to scream at your kids.
But
it's like, do you even love this kid? Do you like, right. What are you doing? Sometimes I really wonder, like, I look at parents in public, I'm like, do you even like your kid?
Or what are you doing at home if you're like screaming at him and
treating him like Walmart,
this in public
what are you doing?
place?
Yeah. No, I get it. Being frustrated at your wit's end, like, it can happen, especially... Let's say you got a lot of kids or something, or you had a real bad day, or you're a single parent. I'm sure that shit's hard, but like, yeah, I'm with you. I don't really yell at them in public or not, and I'm not like demanding of him to change his behavior. We more or less try to talk about it,
So recently we went to Target, and we went for a school clothes shopping, if I could talk. And there was a woman there, and she had a cart, and there was like a baby sitting up at the top part. There was 2 kids in the cart, and then 3 boys following them. And when I look at that situation, I'm like, there's no way she's happy with us, because... There's no fucking way.
You think she just regrets everything?
There 2 of the boys
you don't have 6 kids without making some decision about having kids. Like, she was part of that equation.
She was part of that equation, and there was a decision made on each one, and after it looked like 2 in her life, it was a bad decision for the rest. Yeah. But 2 of the boys are kicking each other in the aisle. Next thing I turn around, she's yelling at them. They're wrestling around on the floor. The one that's standing is like kicking at the 2. The kids in the cart are pulling stuff off the shelves. And it's just total disaster. It's total chaos.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, what do you do in that scenario?
I'm not going to be in that scenario. I'm going to have the main fucking kids. That's where the buck stops.
All right, let's say your uncle. Right, your uncle, and you're watching all your nieces and nephews or something. You got you 6 kids you gotta watch, and they're all just fucking disaster like that. What are you doing?
I mean, in a setting in a house, I'm gonna be like, hey, you 2 go here, you 2 go here, you go 2 here.
Separate.
Sit down. Yeah. Don't move till I come and talk to you 2. I mean, maybe that works. I don't know. I've never been in that situation, but that would be
It
my
sounds
plan.
pretty good. Yeah, it sounds good.
And have a discussion with each of them or separate them and say, here's your playing partner, here's your playing partner, here's your playing partner.
Ooh, playing partner.
Right. But you have different designated areas.
Okay.
And if you can be
like
good,
stations in kindergarten.
yes. And if you can be good for those 10 minutes, I'll switch the partners up. And that way all of y'all can play different.
Oh, wow.
Now, that situation's a little different than this woman being in Target with 6 kids. And
She can't really do play partners there.
no, and like, are you telling me these kids don't do this at home where you feel safe enough to go by yourself with 6 kids? And
You're right. Even if
up?
I had 6 kids, I mean, I would... Man, it's hard to say, right? Like, maybe she just has no other option. But, like, I would try to do everything I could to not go shopping.
Take all 6 at once.
Well, for sure. Unless there's 6 more at home, right? But damn, yeah, I would do everything I could not to go shopping with 6. I mean, we just went to the mall yesterday, and it just with our 2, and it just felt like just too much. Because, you know, I feel like when I'm at the mall, I'm in high alert. Like, I'm like, well, looking at everybody,
right.
Making sure there's nobody weird coming up, making sure that no one's fucking stealing my wife's purse off her shoulder or something.
Or your kid's running like 3 feet away and have a chance to get stolen.
My son is just not, like, aimlessly walking in a different direction. Like, I feel like, you know, I'm constantly on high alert at the mall, and I could not imagine having more than the 2. Honestly, any more responsibility, and I probably would have cracked, because I was, like, anxiety there.
Well, and that's where it plays a part when there's 2 in a home and you and your wife and your kids go out shopping. If your daughter, who's younger, is not expected to be perfect for 2 hours straight while shopping, if she has a blow up or she needs to be walked out, you or your wife can take her out and still want to be with your son.
We can kind of 1v1 it, yeah.
But if you go there and you're a dad by yourself or you're a mom
one
by
on
yourself
5,
and you
4.
have the same situation and that kid starts to cry,
you got no option. Yeah.
You have no options.
Yeah.
Drop everything or just let the kid cry. And then usually when the kid starts crying and you're giving all the attention to the baby, then the older kid's like, hey, I'm still here. I want my shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we came here.
Yeah. Yeah. We going to GameStop, Mom?
But you spoke earlier about, like, playgrounds. And I don't know your perception on that, but, like, if my daughter goes to a playground and say there's 10 kids out there, like, I can't just sit there 50 feet away and be like, go play.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be eyes on the whole time.
Yeah.
I want to make sure no other kids are mistreating her, and I want to make sure she's not mistreating other kids.
Or getting stolen.
There's
a couple kids that got...
Maybe I should put that first.
There was a couple kids that got stolen out of Morgan Grove Park.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take, like, that's why, I mean, it only takes that second.
Seconds, bro. Yeah, I mean, I would... I'm the same way. I mean, we used to be called helicopter parents by, like, my older siblings or, you know, random people. Friends. We had some friends that were a lot more, you know, laid back parenting styles, and, you know, they would joke that we were, like, always up close, like when they were on the playground. Oh, don't fall, you know.
Right.
So I mean, definitely with our son, we were more nervous about that stuff. And yeah, even still, when we go to the park or something, yeah, I can't be on my phone or, like, you know.
But there's an age
yards
range.
Away.
I feel like elementary, like my niece is 10. Once my daughter gets 10, like I'm not going to be that much on her. Like, I'll lay back some. But I feel like right now I can be there in the moment if I need to be to teach her a lesson. Like, if 2 kids get to the steps at the same time and they're arguing and she gets upset, like, it's okay. Like, you take turns. Both of you are going to the same place.
Right. It's all going to be good, yeah.
Like, learn that lesson at the same time. Like, I still want her to have fun, but also I'm teaching lessons when I'm out there.
Yeah, that's true. I'm with you on that.
Not when other kids come there and their parents are like, hey, I'm going to go over here and smoke a few cigarettes. Play some solitaire on my phone, and if I turn around and you're beating the shit out of other kid, go Johnny.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's parents like that. Like,
there is, yeah.
Go learn on your own. Like,
yeah.
But I like lessons being taught in the moment.
Yeah, no, same way. Definitely. I think we're the same in that way. So I think we're going to plan on doing an episode every week, right?
Yeah, look at every week. This episode's just more about us. We'll start to get into other topics and specific things to talk about, to get into, but this is a little bit of what we are and who we are and the lives that we live right now. So just to get to know us.
Yeah, and I think we're going to put out another episode this time next week, and it'll be on everywhere where you can watch or listen to podcasts. And let's see, is there anything else? The Unalike Podcast.
Oh, yeah. We didn't have to go to Walmart today.